started doubting themselves. They started thinking, well, maybe Hillary, after all, is not the right person. So, what is going to happen? I believe uh, Obama is going to create, because if Hillary or Hillary is not able to become the president, which I don't think she's going to be the president, then they have to do two things. Number one, rig the election through the computer fraud, um, which we are warning Trump about that. We're warning people about that, and Trump, because I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, but once the uh, election is based on computer system, then there is a huge chance of uh, you know um, computer rig. It's election rig. Sorry. So number one, number two, if wars come to wars, if they cannot stop Trump, if they more expose is out, more information is out against Hillary and against the establishment, then this is what they're going to do. Which, by the way, Obama has been attempting doing that. And who has stood up against him and against his proposal? It was Dr. Rand Paul, the son of Dr. Ron Paul from Kentucky, the senator. He's, stood up against him. But Obama actually talked about the third term. He was kind of programming us. It was kind of like predictive programming, and wanted us to subliminally, be ready for this. And even he, gave some examples of history, and his fake degree also says, he's a constitutional lawyer. I'm also an astronaut. Did you know that? Nowadays, you can say anything you want. There is no consequences. Anything goes. And so he basically was trying to say, okay, Roosevelt did it, why not me? But here's the question back then. They said, okay, 65 years ago when Roosevelt did that, it was World War II. And also, you need to get the approval of 75% of the Congress. And I don't think that this Congress is on the side of, Obama, although there are lots of bad apples there, but also there are, even people who are kind of neutral, but they start thinking, like, what the heck is going on? Like all the emails, and one by one, everything that we thought and everybody else thought we were crazy or conspiracy theories came true. So even though those neutral people started questioning, you know um, so thing is that since 65 years ago, there is not even one day, 1 month that America didn't have a war. We always have a war with someone, be it Vietnam, North Korea, or, Yugoslavia, Kosovo, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, you name it. North Pole, South Pole, planet Mars, Moon. We just love doing things that make the Zionist bankers richer. We just love doing that. You know, we love making them happy. So, but that being said, there was not even one day for USA to not having a war or having a peaceful day. So lots of people back then, when Obama said, or Bush said that actually for the first time after a long time, Bush said that, and they said, nah, Hey, if that is the case, like Reagan could have done that, um, Bill Clinton, the rapist, could have done that, and all these presidents could have done that. So they're eligible for this third term too. You're not the only person, and besides, your war is like kind of like proxy war. We don't even know what the heck we are doing in Iraq. We're not helping anything. But so Obama the same way. He created hell in Libya. Yes, he created hell in Pakistan. Yes, he created hell in Syria. But those are all, we're fighting with crippled countries, with really handicapped countries. We're not. So, in order for him to justify his third term, if they think that uh, either Hillary's battery finally runs out, and there is a possibility because she's really a biological robot. She died in 2012 in a plane crash. She had a secret meeting with Iranians. Um, I got actually first-hand information. You're not going to believe. I got first-hand information that she really died in Iran. They rushed her to the hospital, to our hospital in Germany, but she really pronounced dead. She was pronounced dead. But then again, DARPA is doing some really very hush-hush research on resurrecting. It's called the Project Lazarus. They're resurrecting human being. And I guess they tried it on Hillary. But really, what you see is really a walking corpse. It's a zombie walking around. So, but anyway, so they're predicting if for some strange reason she start malfunctioning, doing these things and doing that thing, and bobbleheaded stuff. They're gonna say, okay, but we don't want Trump, especially after what he said last week. They don't want anybody talking about the Zionist bankers, which, by the way, he just said bankers. He didn't say anything about Zionism, about Jews. He didn't say, but it's funny that they themselves know the only monopoly in banking, Jews. They're like, oh, wait a minute. What are you talking about? We are the only people who can have that kind of privilege. So I sounded like Russians. I wanted to sound like, I have to work on my Jewish accent. But anyway, then so they themselves actually admit that they are the only monopoly in the world when it comes to banking. So sorry, you should have guilty conscience when we talk about filthy, corrupted bankers. So immediately you're talking to us, but how did you know that we were talking about you? So either Hillary's gonna kind of malfunction or whatever. They don't want Trump to go to the White House. So either way, either Hillary loses in the election or she starts malfunctioning and shaking her head again. I suppose they're going to come up with this plan B. The plan B cannot be, oh, America is in, fighting with some forces in Syria, because everybody just like, Bill Clinton had the same situation. So did George Bush did, have this. They all wanted to be president for the third time or the fourth, and just let's be real. A royalty system, a monarchy system without the constitution, though. We don't like constitution. We want, to go back to the British time before the constitutional time. We want to be this, the British king tyrant. You want to become that. So they said no, everybody else had war. So now they have to come up with World War III or some war that is very serious, which has, such as, you know, faking and staging Russia attacking America, either in Syria or some, and most likely Syria. Most likely they're going to fake it that Russia attacked America and America retaliated back, and hence, welcome to World War III. And once we are there, Obama has enough justification to run for the third term. And eventually, of course, they're gonna, kind of transition this whole, you know, president thing to really a martial law, and eventually to, just new world order, basically. Because once they have the power, it's way easier for them to lead us to the new world order. So this is their plan B, because when they sit in the Council of Foreign Relationships or the round table, do you know what they do in round table meetings? Do you know what they do in Bueller? That's what they do. Somebody sit in one table, and a group of people, 4 or 5 people, some of these Yale University students or some douchebags from Harvard University who, they're political analysts, and they're young also, by the way. Many of them are young. And one group sit over here, and then they give them like somebody who looks like a butler comes with a tray, and he put like some notes, and it says like group A, group B, group C. So group A, for instance, like people come and pick up, hey, group A is, let's say, Hillary, or Hillary wins. Then what? Group B works on what if she doesn't win? What if her juice, her battery juice runs out? Then what? What are we going to do? They work on, hey, we need to create this fake major war, because these wars, they're not counted as wars. They're proxy wars, really, not real wars. And, so, and then plan C, what if, that doesn't even work? What if plan D, what if people from Texas actually march to the Washington, D.C. with their guns? What should we do? And plan, F and G, and, so on and so forth. I miss E. But anyway, just so you know, this is what is going on right now. So here is my suggestion, Mr. Trump. Very careful. I know that you have a bunch of generals that are faithful to you, and they show their loyalty to you. Now is the time. If they are really loyal to you, now is the time. You need to, even before becoming the president, uh, kind of prevent this of happening. We are not going to war with Russia, no matter what. We are not going to war with Russia. I don't like Russia. I don't like Putin. Russia took over 2/3 of my former country, Iran. Russia always backstab anyone in any way that they wanted to. But that being said, I know one thing for sure, that when I say Russia, I'm not talking about Russians. I love Russians. I have lots of Russian friends. They're the funniest people ever. And I feel, I'm closer to them than any other countries in that region. I don't have the same feelings for, let's say, Iraqis or Turkish. I don't have really feelings for any of them. I feel closer to Russian people, even genetically, and you know, definitely culturally too. So, but I'm talking about the government of Russia, the people who are running Russia. You know, But that being said, that I don't like the government of Russia, either the Soviet one or the one that says, "Oh, we're not communists anymore." I don't care. However, I know for sure that Putin doesn't want World War III. So no matter what, Mr. Trump, you have to be careful. You need to use your connections with the military and army. If Mr. Pence is related to them or whatever, I know Mr. Pence is kind of like a war, and you are not. You're a businessman person, and you have businessman mentality. And Pence is like more like, Pence is kind of like Hillary, like when he talks, but he also has some more sense than Hillary. I can understand that once you're in office, you can control him. I can see that. But even now, you have to send the message to um, military people: we're not going to war with Russia, because that's exactly what Obama wants. Because they started panicking. They just send a stupid news that, oh, Assange is dead. Like it was a few hours ago. I had to call the embassy of Ecuador in London and talk to someone and make sure Assange was alive. And he's alive. He's alive. He's okay. So that was a lie. But they really want to assassinate Assange. So they're panicking. Something is going on because every hour Assange is, releasing a, crazier story. You think it was conspiracy. The fact is crazier than fiction. I'm telling you. So they need to stop. They need to distract us with something. And what is better than war? Is patriotic. I love this country. If war starts, I might go to war. You know, of course, every patriotic American would go to war, but hopefully, we shouldn't go to war for the wrong reasons. We should go to war for defending our country, not for the sake of the Obama or Hillary or Muslim Brotherhood or Zionism, which is Muslim Brotherhood is a branch of Zionism, you know. So we have to be very careful. So, Mr. Trump, if you have any connection to the military or to the Pentagon or with army or our bases, whatever is going on, you need to avoid, even before becoming president. It's funny, I'm asking you because I know you can do that. I know you're more presidential than Hussein Obama. You are more presidential than Hillary. You know, so I know you could do this. You went to Mexico and even, it's very interesting that you actually, kind of were received like a president in Mexico. That was very interesting. That was a very interesting thing that you did. But you need to do this too. You need to stop. You need to stop our war, our unwanted war, our stage war with Russia. It needs to stop. And the other thing, that a few hours ago, they told me that, um, you know, United States actually attacked the Yemenis and bombarded actually. And guess what? Yemenis actually attacked American Navy. Uh, well, guess what? They're not really Yemenis. They were Iranian working. I mean, they were Yemenis working for Islamic regime of Iran. Islamic regime occupying Iran. Let me explain that, because they keep saying Iran, Iran, Iran. Iranians don't have anything to do with this. Iranians like peace, okay? And Iranians are closer people to West civilization actually in that region. Why? Because West came out of Iran, Iranian culture. That's another issue we talk about at some other time. You can check my videos, the Echo and other stuff. I don't want to talk about that. But the Islamic regime, uh, financed the militia, the Yemenis militia in that region, and they attacked the Yemenis militia attacked U.S. Navy. Okay, guess what? How did they get the money? They got the money few months ago when President Obama gave cool cash to the Ayatollahs. You know, this is a treasonous act. That's how they are doing the Hegelian dialectic: problem, reaction, solution. This is what they're doing. Create a problem, create an artificial problem, seek people's reaction or overreaction, and then give them the solution, which is what? New World Order, or as she calls it, hemispheric government. Okay, so be very careful, Mr. Trump. They're going to sabotage you, and this is actually one of their plans. So I guess they have several plans. This is one of them. All right, thank you so much. That was kind of like an open letter to Mr. Trump. We'll come back with more information about this election. It's a war. We are in a war. If we win this war, we can avoid World War III. I'm telling you. I am telling you. We need World War III. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll come back with more information about my campaign. Bye.